I DIY'd this checkered wall for my new content room and ended up loving it so much I wanted to copy it onto its opposite wall. And you guys asked for a full tutorial, so here it is. First, here's a list of everything you'll need. Here are the colors I used. And then for my wall, I decided on 12-inch checkers. Start by measuring 12 inches up from your baseboard and making little marks all the way along the wall. I ended up doing about 5 dashes along the wall. Next, take your laser level and put it in the wall right at that 12 inches, making sure that your line is straight, level, and crosses right through the middle of each one of your dashes on the wall. This is how you'll make sure all of your lines are exactly straight and exactly 12 inches. Now, because we know the space between the baseboards and the line are exactly 12 inches, you want to put your tape right on top of the laser line. The gap between the tape and the baseboard is the space that we'll be painting, so we want to make sure we keep that 12 inches. And since the tape is 2 inches wide, if you put your tape below the line, you're actually cutting your space down to 10 inches instead of the 12. Also, be sure to go back over your tape and really press it into the wall so your paint doesn't bleed and you have a nice crisp line. Now we're going to repeat the measuring process, but this time you want to measure from the bottom of your tape line. So again, measure 12 inches starting from the bottom of the tape and make dashes along the wall. Add your laser level, and then this time you're going to add the tape to the bottom of the line. Because the width of the tape cuts into the paint room, you have to start by painting every other row of the checkers. So whereas last time the open space was 12 inches, now the second row the tape cuts into those 12 inches. So now when we go to measure the third row, we need to measure from the top of the tape instead of the bottom. That way for our third row, the open space is 12 inches. So essentially you just need to place your tape so that every other row has an open space of 12 inches. On the wall, it's going to make it look like you have skinnier rows and then wider rows. In the end, it should look something like this, where your first open space should be exactly 12 inches, and then your second row, if you include the tape end to end, that should be 12 inches as well, and then the pattern continues all the way up the wall. Now you have to do a similar thing when doing your vertical lines. For the first one, measure from the corner of your wall 12 inches out, place one side right on the corner, and place your other side on the outside of that 12-inch mark. That way your actual painting area that isn't covered by tape is exactly 12 by 12 inches. Now again, this is going to make it look like every other square is skinnier than the 12-inch squares, but that's only because you have 2 inches of tape on either side cutting into those squares. Also remember to skip those skinny lines because we aren't painting there yet. Now that you're all taped off, it's time to paint. If you want, you can mark which squares are the ones you're supposed to paint, but I feel like looking at them, it's really easy to tell. The ones that you're supposed to paint are the ones with 12 inches of open space, so they're obviously wider than all the other ones. It also makes it easy because they're all right on top of each other. So just skip a row and paint the same square right on top of each other. I did 2 layers of paint, and I found that by the time I painted all the squares the first time, they were all dry enough that I could restart and do my second layer right away. After that, it's best to leave your paint to dry all the way. I'm a little impatient, so I only left it for 3 hours and honestly didn't have any issues. Also, while I was taking off the tape, I simply reused that tape to retape for my second set of squares. To do this, simply take a strip of tape and use it to line up the top of the tape with the top of the squares. And for the top of your second set of squares, simply do the same thing where you take a strip of tape and line up the bottoms of the squares with the bottom of the tape. Again, do the same for the sides where you're lining up the side of the tape with the side of the squares. This is how your second set of squares is going to perfectly line up corner to corner to corner to corner with your old checkers. And I like to simply do this while I'm taking off the tape from the first set of squares. And I feel like this is where your checkered wall is really starting to take shape. Also, retaping for your second set of squares is so much easier than the first set of taping you have to do for those first row of squares. It's so easy just to line up the corners with all of the tape. I did find it makes it so much easier if you leave your longer pieces of tape to do the sides with, but by the end, the second set of squares should look like this. And now all that's left to do is to paint. Again, I did my first coat and then immediately went into my second coat. I let mine dry for 2 hours before I got way too impatient and came to take off the tape again. Again, honestly, I had no issues at all, but this part is the most satisfying, and that's it. Now you have your very own checkerboard wall. It is a little tedious, but it's so easy. I was able to bang it out in just one afternoon, but I'm so happy with how both of these walls turned out. Let me know if you have any questions and follow for more.